Hey guys, in this video, we'll be covering about the 491 visa. I'll be sharing with you the link that I have found and also just give you an insight if 491 is fit for you, or should you straightly jump into 190 or 189 if you have enough points. Right now, I'm really in a battle of should I lodge my visa. I already have a positive skills assessment, but I haven't lodged my EOI yet. I'm battling if I should do the 491 or 190. Although you can have, you can lodge two, like 189 or 491, that's fine. But yeah, well, these are the resources that I found, and I just want to share with you what I have discovered. And by the way, this is not a legal immigration advice. I highly suggest that you consult with your own legal immigration agent, or a lawyer. Just take all of this advice as a grain of salt, but as I said, we'll be basing all of this in the Home Affairs website. So what I really like about 491 is once you're ready, like even though it is a temporary visa, it says here it's a temporary visa which allow you to live up to 5 years. But the catch is, like, even though it's a temporary visa, let's say you got your 491 at the age of 44 years old, and after 3 years you need to transition to 191, which is the permanent visa. What I really like about the 491 is you're not once you are transitioning to 191, you're not bound to age limit. So as long as you get the 491 before reaching 44 years old, you're very good to go. And 491 as well doesn't have very strict points, like a minimum of 65 points. But aside from that, there are also factors that I found that you need to check about the 491 visa that could help to fast track your nomination. And by the way, if you go into Live in Melbourne, Victoria, vic.gov.au, they will usually put a banner if the visa skilled nomination is closing, like the ROI is closing, or there's a new ROI that they will be giving. At the moment, I'm still waiting actually for my school to complete the certificate, like the completion. That's why I haven't lodged my ROI yet. I don't think I can catch this registration, this ROI, but they will be closing in 29th of April. So I need to wait for a new batch of nomination program. So if you want to check if they are open for a nomination program, just go into the Live in Melbourne, Victoria. Okay, now jump in again to 491. Eligibility is, if you go into the basic, you need to meet all the eligibility of the 491 Home Affairs. So what are these eligibility? For the eligibility, example is a positive. Here you click that, so you need to apply for EOI, skilled select, and skilled select can be only applied if you have a skills assessment. For the B, there's also, I think there are some ANSCO code that doesn't require a skills assessment, but most of the level 1 you need to have a skills assessment. Be nominated in a sponsored area, you must be nominated in the state. Can this age should be here. What I'm trying to say, this is what I like, is once you get your 491, let's say at the age of 44, once you transition that to 191, you're not bound to age limit. Like, regardless if you are more than 45 years old, you will get the PR once you hold the 491 before 45 years old. Okay, and then you need to have a suitable skills assessment. For the suitable skills assessment, it depends on your profession. So let's say you just actually need to Google it. Let's say I'm a multimedia specialist or chef. Let's say chef assessing. That's not right. So chef assessing body. You'll see who is the assessing body for chef. So assessing body of chef is TRA, or Trades Recognition Australia. If for my skills, it's a multimedia specialist, assessing body for that is the ACS. So you just need to check your assessing body. That is mostly required to level 1, unless you are like very in demand ANSCO code, let's say carpenter. I don't think it needs to have a assessing body, but positive skills assessment, but please correct me if I'm wrong. But I really like those types of ANSCO code is very in demand in Australia. It only requires you 65 points and you can straightly get a 189, like straightly PR. You don't need to apply for 491 visa. So anyway, let's stick to the 491. For the other other requirements as well is you need to have a 65 points. So if you want to calculate your points, it's a combination of your education and your experience both in onshore and offshore, like outside Australia and inside Australia. Check out my other video about the calculator. I'm gonna put it in the link description below. With the English level, you need to be at least competent, but the higher the score you have, the better, because it's also gonna affect your point system. Like, let's say superior English has 25 points or 20 points, and then the competent one is just like a 5 points or something. With this, so you can just leave the other thing, like at the moment, skills requirements, health requirements. These are like the most important. Visa cancellation. With a visa cancellation, I think this could be also like it could be also vary. Like I've got a visa cancellation before as a tourist way back 2 years ago, because I haven't set up my, what do you call that, like biometric. So the reason why I've just got refused because of like very, like, I'm so stupid, like I didn't able, that's one of the requirements. It's not so major. So yeah, double check. Like for this, you just need to have an at least you have a positive skills assessment and your age as well. And then once you already have positive skills assessment, ACS, and then you calculate your positive skills assessment, not ACS, positive skills assessment, and your age is still under 45, you can then calculate your points using the calculator. I'm going to put it in the link description below. And then you need to here under the, what do you call that, skill select. So once you already have that, you sign up to skill select. You start your RO, you start your expression of interest. I'm going to click that and then start there. And then here I already have, but it's still pending because I haven't set up my, actually let me just skip this. I'm already done with this. Let's go into the login. Let's just do skills, select login there. But if you already, like, you need to sign up and then I accept and then update. I haven't really done much of it, but you need to fill it out. It's a 14 steps, and one of the requirements there is you need to get your English, like PTE or IELTS. I haven't done it yet. And then you also need to put your qualification, your education qualification. So those are the requirements before you finish or you submit your expression of interest. So once you already have the expression of interest, you can go into, like, you can ask for registration of interest in the state if it's a 491 visa. Okay, in the Melbourne, you need to go into live in Melbourne, give that liveInMelbourne.vic.gov.au, and then, okay, let me just, I'll show it to you what I have done. Log in there. Oh, hold on. So you click login, and actually I've withdrawn my application, because once you get rejected, you cannot apply until 6 months. So you need to wait. Yeah, I've withdrawn my application there. Okay. Yeah, because I haven't really completed yet my study. I'm still waiting like 1 month to finish my study before I lodge my my registration of interest. One of the requirements as well for registration of interest is, it's a big point that you are working in Victoria. By the way, for 491 visa per state, it depends. In Victoria, you don't need to, let's just jump in here for basic eligibility. So you need to meet the minimum requirements of 491, at least under 45 years old, and then a positive skills assessment. And in the regional area as well, if you are living offshore, that's also fine, and then you can submit your expression registration of interest. One of the also, if you are a graduate, you're holding a graduate certificate, or you're a student, you can also apply in the 491 registration of interest. I don't think you need to have, so here, onshore and hold another temporary residence visa, living, working in regional visa. So with this one, this is not for the student that is student in Victoria, you don't need to work or lived in regional area. It says here, onshore Victoria graduate living Melbourne and holding student. To meet the condition of the visa, you will required only to relocate in the regional Victoria once it is approved. Onshore Victorian living in a regional Victoria and holding student. So this can be also like both of them. So regardless if you live in regional or in metro, you can apply for registration of an interest. With the English requirements, again, you only need a competent English. I think 65 points for 70 points or 65. I'm not sure about it. I haven't actually got a chance to study for PTE or IELTS, but I'm planning to take a PTE. So you just need to have a competent English. But I'm aiming to get superior as possible. So just aim a higher score so you can get invited aside from in English. So these are their basis for you to get invited. You have a very good score for your English, and then you have a valid skills assessment. For a valid skills assessment, it really depends on your experience and your school as well, your highest education. If your highest education is related to your work experience, they will calculate it and check if you can be eligible to get a positive skills assessment. I do have a tutorial on that if you want to check it out. I was able to get 2 positive skills assessment for web developer and multimedia specialist. And again, here you just need to have a 65 points. Other thing that a 491 or Victorian Institute, Victorian state will consider of inviting is at least you live. It's not necessary, but it's a big point that if you live in Melbourne for the past couple of years or months, and then you also working in a Victorian company as well. One of the also thing that they consider is, I think, the what do you call that, the salary that you are earning. So here, hold on, I have it here. So here, for more invitation for Victorian nomination, so to be invited, you need to submit your EOI and then submit your ROI as well. And then this one for annual earnings, you also need to be careful of claiming your annual earnings. Sometimes this is the common mistakes that others are, common mistakes of people who are doing DIY approach. Actually, I'm going to use agent for my application. I'm just waiting for my diploma to release before I submit my ROI. So with this one, like the only requirements really for 491, even in the skilled assessment, is you just have to work at least 20 hours. So let's say I am earning $50 per hour, and then 20, calculate it. So you actually, yeah, so 98,800. So the higher your earning is. Like I'm not earning 98,000 because I only work 20 hours per week. So it's just like the Victoria is giving you the estimated like full-time earning. They just anticipate if they're gonna hire you or they're gonna not hire. They're gonna nominate you in a 491. What is the potential earning that you can get for your current hourly rate? Okay, now submitting. So once you're already good in that, other factors as well that I have found in here is, hold on. So with this one, so regional migration. So Victoria stated here that there are 3 categories of regional. So category 1, which is major cities, is very like unlikely to get invited because of the competition. Unless you are very, you have a higher points. Like if you have already a higher points, then you actually can just jump in straightly for 189 or 190 for direct PR. So category 2 are still regional area, but like a progressive areas. For example, Perth, Adelaide, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Canberra, Newcastle, Wollongong, Geelong, Hobart in Tasmania. Hobart is actually good as well to fast track your applications. As once you have a positive skills assessment, if your ANSCO code is in the gold list, then you can straightly get a nomination for just like instantly, as long as you have 3 or 6 months of experience, I think. For the category 3, these are so regional area, like maybe Seymour in Victoria, let's say Peninsula. These are like category 3. But the only disadvantage of category 3 is the employment since it's very regional, the employment is also limited as well. So you might gonna experience struggle to meet the threshold for the transitioning of 191, but there always be a work there, like regardless of in which part of regional area you have. You just need to look. So these are the bases that they also check in terms of nominating an applicant. The other thing also that I found is here, postcode. So these are the list of postcode that is considered as regional. So for example, in New South Wales, these are the postcodes that they consider regional. Victoria has a lot of postcode actually, and then here Western Australia, South Tasmania, ACT, NT, Norfolk Island. What's that? I didn't know that. Other territories. So these are the postcode that you can consider if you have if you have a 485 visa. You might consider using your 485 visa to work in a regional area. And then I also found this as well. Hold on. So what is a skilled employment? One of the factors also that they are checking. So we have already the age, we already have the skills assessment, we already have the employment. Okay. It's a good factor that you are working in the state and earning, not lucrative, but at least above average salary. And then third for one is they're also considering the role that you have right now. So the home affairs, like the skilled thing, what do you call that, like the skilled visa thing, is categorized in 3 levels of ANSCO. So if you click this, let's click this one. So let's type in chef. Let's see what's the level of chef. Okay, chef. So chef at the moment is in level 2, okay? And you just only need an associate degree, an advanced, or a 3 years work experience. Level 2 is fine, but if you want to get prioritized, at least you need to have a level 3. But don't be disappointed. This is just a 491 visa, so they would definitely consider level 2 as well, as long as you are fine in living outer the metro. So let's say I'm gonna type in, how about support worker, because support worker is very common. Here, community, let's say community support worker. So community support worker is categorized again as level 2. How about support worker? How about my ANSCO, multimedia specialist? Here, multimedia designer. Multimedia designer is in a skilled level 1. Okay, how about web developer? Web developer is another level 1. So, but don't be discouraged. Like, even though it's level 2, 491 visa is not that strict, and these are only the factors. Like ANSCO code is only the factors. There's still like a work experience, there's still like an age, so, and an annual like salary income as well. So yeah, what else? These are also the skilled occupational list that you can take a look. So maybe 491 visa. Oh, it's not there. Let's jump into other areas here. We already tackled this. We already tackled that as well. Occupation. Okay, so we already tackled most of this. If I have some other follow-ups if I have some follow-ups, I'm gonna create another tutorial. Thank you and have a great day.